Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patithanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I am sincerely grateful and honored for this great blessing to be a part of this historic, auspicious ceremony where we have come together to celebrate the life and the teachings of His Divine Grace, Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Maharaj, and to offer our gratitude for the mercy that we have all received from him. It was such a special blessing to hear from His Holiness Bodhayan Maharaj, his realizations, his teachings, and his love and appreciation for another great Vaishnava. Within this material existence, the physical life that a person is given is likened to a spark. Reality is eternity. And the amount of life we have in this age of Kali is just a small fraction. Yet, in this human life, durlabhamanava janma lobhya samsare, we have the rarest of all fortunes, the opportunity to realize the eternity of our soul, to realize our eternal relationship with Sri Sri Radha Govinda Dev in the spiritual world of Goloka. Durlabhamanava janma lobhya samsare. Durlabhamanava janama satsange. That of all rare things within this human life, there is nothing more rare than to be in the association of those Vaishnavas who live to love Krishna and live to share that love with others. The Vapu, the physical presence of such a great soul, they live from this world to spread the holy name around, to preserve and to inspire people to follow the teachings of the great acharyas in our parampara. With no ego, the great Vaishnavas are simply carrying this supreme treasure of the teachings, the blessings, and the grace of the parampara. And through remembrance of their qualities, through their Vani, remembrance of their teachings, instructions, and how they personally led by their example, we can always be in the presence and actually intimately in the association of our beloved gurus. By dedicating our lives to serving the will and the instructions, and by living the teachings of our gurus, he is always with us, and we are always with him. Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Maharaj, he lived his life 100% completely in the loving service of his Guru Maharaj. Srila Bhakti Dayita Madhava Maharaj, a prominent disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada, and beloved godbrother of my Guru Maharaj, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Maharaj gave his life in total to receiving the instructions of his Guru and spreading them throughout India and the world. And in doing so, as an Acharya, he's teaching us what is truly our good fortune. Those of you who are so fortunate and so blessed to be disciples of Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Maharaj, I congratulate you. I thank you. I bow my head to you. And I pray that you can all make this your life and soul, to follow his teachings and share his teachings with one another as a spiritual family, with other Vaishnavas within our great Parampara lineage, and with the whole world, and to find true happiness, to find Krishna forever in your service. In this regard, I'm remembering an event that is so deeply taken roots in my heart. Sometimes in our relationships with great souls, we have many interactions. But sometimes a particular interaction becomes foundational to our spiritual perceptions in our life. In this particular event, we were in Vrindavan. It was a glorious meeting. Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Maharaj was leading a large group of devotees on a parikrama of Brajbhumi. And at the time, I was also leading quite a large group of devotees on a Braj parikrama. And by Shri Radharani and Shri Govinda Dev's mercy, we had assembled, the group I was within was assembled at the Yagyastan, the place where the Brahmins' wives came to meet with Lord Krishna with all of their offerings. One of the most instructive and powerful stories of the Srimad Bhagavatam, We were there for many hours, having kirtan, speaking this lila, and discussing the essential teachings within this lila. That Krishna is Saragrahi Janardana. He accepts the essence in which we speak, we act, and we live in our devotional service. The formalities, the rituals, the particular practices are ultimately only to help us to live by the essence, which is to please Krishna. Samsiddhir Haditoshana. So we were so enlivened, so inspired by speaking about this. And afterward, we were coming down the hill and we were walking toward Akrura Ghat. Akrura Ghat and the Yagyastali are both alone in the same little area in Vrindavan, just separated by a small tract of Brajbhumi land. So we were coming down, performing Nam Sankirtan very, very enthusiastically, and we were coming toward Akrura Ghat. And at that time, His Holiness Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Maharaj was coming from Akrura Ghat, walking in the front with a large group of devotees, ecstatically chanting in Nam Sankirtan. And the two groups were walking toward one another. Mridangas, karatals, loud chanting of the holy names of Sri Krishna. Both groups were chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And as we were coming together, there was absolutely no one else anywhere around in this part of Braj. It was just these two Sankirtan parties coming closer and closer and closer. And when we met, the expression on the face, the look in the eyes of Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Maharaj was beautiful. He was lit up with joy, with happiness. There were tears welling in his eyes, seeing other Vaishnavas chanting the holy names of Shri Shri Radha Govinda Dev together. He was so absolutely ecstatic from my perception to see the mission of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada and the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being followed and enjoyed by other Vaishnavas. He raised his arms to celebrate that we were coming together. And at that moment, we both offered obeisances to each other. I was deeply humbled by the experience. I'm the age of perhaps of a son to a father, so much senior to me in every way. Still, when I bowed down, he bowed down. And what Srila Bodhayan Maharaj was describing about simplicity, humility, and deep appreciation for devotional service in whatever form, whoever carries it. He embodied that. And when we got up, I was shy because, of his seniority, but he came over and embraced me. when we embraced each other. The two Sankirtan parties went into a state that reached a summit of happiness, enthusiasm. The holy names of both parties were roaring, and the two different kirtans completely merged into one kirtan. The same melody, one leader, and everyone was dancing together. There was a complete unity between our two groups because they could experience the love and unity between their leaders. This brought such joy. And we spoke for some time. He was asking me about where we have been going in Vrindavan, and he was explaining to me, and he was inquiring about my well-being, and I was thanking him. And the merging of these two Sankirtan parties became such a source of remembrance of Krishna in the sweetest way that after we spoke for some time, he was going to Yagyastali. And if I remember, because this was some years ago, we just wanted to be together. And our group went back to Yagyastali. We had spent probably 4 or 5 hours there before going down to Akruragat. But just to remain together, I believe we came up and went back up to Yagyastali for some time. I'm remembering this incident in such a way that it is such an important lesson that Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Maharaj taught us. Naturally, he just loves devotees. He loves to see everyone and anyone taking to Krishna consciousness. He loves to see the dedication of Vaishnavas from all different circles of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada's family, finding shelter in the chanting of the holy names and the practice of the 9 processes of devotional service. I'm seeing Ramdas Prabhu with us today, and I'm so thankful for Ramdas Prabhu for helping to publish the extraordinary books of Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Maharaj. In fact, in honor of his appearance day, I've been reading this book that is just behind me today about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal associates. It's a glorious book. And one time in Northern California, I got a phone call from Ramdas where he invited me to his home for an evening where he was asking Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Maharaj and myself to both speak. So I drove up there with one of my dear God brothers, Vaisheshika Prabhu. And it was a small gathering of devotees, but so intimate and so special. Of course, Ramdas Prabhu, being such a perfect Vaishnav host, made all of us feel completely at home together. And I'm remembering Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Maharaj's kirtan. It was filled with enthusiasm and bhava, and it was intense. Everyone was dancing. People were crying. People were screaming out the holy names, as was he. And he gave a lecture, so much embodying the erudite teachings of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy with such feeling, such enthusiasm. Then he asked me to speak and perform kirtan, and how he was relishing by the goodness of his own heart a very small and fallen soul like myself, trying to practice devotional service, and how he was offering such honor and respect even to such a small little person, because I was a disciple of his Guru Maharaj's godbrother. It was a very, very special night. I'm sure Ramdas Prabhu, you remember that. And then, of course, we all honored Mahat Prasad together. Today is a festival, and it's also a very deep celebration where we feel separation, viraha bhava, for Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj. And we also celebrate his gifts to ourselves, to our community, and to the world. And in that celebration, we can intimately experience his divine presence. Thank you. Thank you all for including me. My prayer is that each of you will find the eternal blessings in your Guru Maharaj, in your devotional life. Please, please, there's nothing more valuable. There's nothing greater to live for than this. Hare Krishna. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.